People often ask me, what is it that got me so curious about magical practices and altered states? And the question brings me to a place of gratitude and curiosity as to why this particular path has mysteriously unfolded before me. My first response to the question is usually a drive down reminiscent lane to an experience I had in grade 4. At the time, I was attending Catholic school, and my parents were very diligently taking us weekly to an Anglican church. A group of friends in school were beginning to gain interest in the recently released cult classic, The Craft, which my parents, God bless their hearts, did not approve of me to see. Feeling partly left out of the group's conversation, and also being intensely drawn to the world of all things supernatural, I proceeded to say, let's start a coven. And so it began. At home, I would pray, go to church, behave like the kind of angel that everyone wanted me to be. Meanwhile, at school, I was taking part in calling in the 4 directions, playing with the elements, and attempting to hypnotize and levitate my peers. This sparked a new sense of excitement in me. I remember going to the school library and looking up books on witches. One particular encyclopedia caught my eye, and upon its pages were medieval images of witches riding broomsticks with the devil and being burned at the stake. Shortly after that, it all came to a very abrupt end when the group of us were called into the principal's office and reprimanded for our apparently bad behavior. Over the years, I found myself naturally drawn to magical practices, yet the results have not always been the most positive in terms of receiving acceptance from others. I've realized that for many folks, magical practices and altered states is still very much the object of criticism by society. Having worked with others who are curious about using magic to live their life more fully, I can tell you that for many, the sense of judgment is still a part of the experience. If you are someone who feels unfulfilled in life, wants to have a bit more zest and fun, maybe wishes to see the sparkle of magic in your everyday life, and come into alignment with your personal truth, then perhaps calling more magic into your life is just what the metaphysical doctor ordered. So how do you overcome these fears of magical practices that are meant to enliven and bring more purpose and meaning into your life? The first step is to acknowledge that these fears exist through the shadow. This is about recognizing where your life is at, who or what has been putting a layer of control over you. Are there religious or societal programs that you're operating from? And what do these look like? And do you really believe them to be true for you? This is part of the investigative work of healing, and you have to examine your life and ask question after question after question. My experience of religious trauma has led me to realize that many folks are still fearful that a red pitchfork-wielding goat figure is impatiently tapping his foot, waiting for them to screw up and join him in eternal flames. If you grew up in a home where talk of satanic chaos and brimstone were common dinner conversation, then you may have experienced programming that demands a life on the straight and narrow, or else. Coming from a place of question, you can begin the process of uncovering the shadows and the programs that you operate from. For many people, they play small because of the fear of being perceived as bad or wrong, or for being judged as not meeting the divine expectations of admission to heaven. Or if you're like me, you feel that in order to keep everyone safe, you have to play within the boundaries of the proverbial sandbox of life. Whatever the belief, a great way to shift your programming is to ask, what is it I believe? And then, what about this belief is true? And what about this belief is false? Step 2 is to accept where you are coming from so that you can be the change that you need. When you do any form of healing work, such as asking questions or exploring the shadow, you may find yourself swimming amongst a wide range of emotions. From grieving the past to having the desire to experience life differently, to anger, hatred, denial, and even confusion. The path of acceptance is part of the healing journey, and with Magick, we are asked to be willing to accept what it is life has given us without attachment. This does not mean to give up and not try a ritual again, but rather to be willing to acknowledge where we have come from and where we are, and to then do the work to create the changes necessary. It also means to call upon those divine spirit guides and energetic powers, whether planetary, elemental, etc., to harness what energy sources may be of support. Self-acceptance of one's perceived shitty religious upbringing can mean the difference of throwing out everything or being empowered with the wisdom of all. For instance, it took me quite some time to come to a place of more positive acceptance of my Christian faith upbringing. Initially, when I had my spiritual emergence, I felt deceived and wanted to go against the religious beliefs of my past. When I began the healing work and self-reflective process, I started to step into more self-acceptance and acceptance that my journey through Christian belief systems has greatly contributed to my knowledge, my understanding of both the Bible and what is meant in various magical texts and workings. For this, I am forever grateful to Spirit for being so thorough in the blueprint of my life. If you feel that coming to a sense of acceptance of your past is too far-fetched, I invite you to pray and ask Spirit to help you to step more into this acceptance. Ask and the universe will answer you, and please know that you are not alone in this process. Step 3 is build trust by aligning with practices that feel right for you. Scrolling through YouTube or Reddit search results on magical practices may leave your head spinning for days. There is an almost endless amount of content out there and an equally vast amount of differing opinions, perspectives, and other beliefs on how to go about practicing magic the right way. My first word of advice is to put other people's opinions to the side and explore what feels right for you. That includes me sharing here in this video. If anything in this video doesn't resonate for you, then know that that's okay. We're all on this learning journey together, and so it's important that we don't take other people's word as gospel truth, but rather hold it up to a lens of skepticism, question, and a blend of faith that perhaps there's something divine in everything. From clearing your energy with the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, making sigils for drawing in more abundance and love, to working with the divine names for a deeper sense of fulfillment, there are so many ways to explore the esoteric and access deeper levels of your consciousness. The first thing I tell people is to make sure you feel prepared for the magical working or ritual. Have you gathered all the elements or items that you need? And do you have a quiet and private space to practice undisturbed? Is your intention clear as to what it is that you want? And lastly, be aware of the thoughts and the fears that may be arising, as this is most likely resistance, the ego wanting to keep you contained in your comfort zone. Time and time again, people show their interest in magic and yet they back away. And I get it. When I first began really practicing, I felt it was a constant exploration of my fears. What if I let this demon in? Or what if someone dies? These are the beliefs that have been part of my internal dialogue since I was a kid. If this is the case for you, I invite you to return to step 1, where you ask some questions and find out who's really thinking these thoughts. They're most likely not yours. Then come back to prayer, to the divine source of all, and know that there is no harm to befall you, especially when you come from a place of love and of light. Now, if you're carrying out a ritual to harm someone, then I can't say it's all going to be okay for you. There is something known as the law of cause and effect. Are you willing to live with the consequences? Magic creates ripples in our world, and any ritual or magical working we take part in will do just that, create ripples. This means your world will start to shift, and for the most part, these shifts are meant to align you with your true purpose. Sometimes what you think is your purpose isn't actually yours. It ends up being everyone else's hopes and dreams for your life. So recognize that spirit may shake things up for you, and this is a part of the journey. Return to self-acceptance and acceptance of what is so you can acknowledge life's lessons and know you don't have to be stuck in it forever. The more you practice what feels good for you, the more fun you'll have, and the more results you'll see in your magic. This will mean greater fulfillment and a return to joy and peace in your life, even when shitty things show up. Because trust me, they will. And finally, a bonus step, practice with like-minded folks. My memories of grade 4, where my friends and I would perform magic during recess, still brings warmth to my heart. We were in the flow together, and unbelievable things happened around us. I did not know it then, but now I realize that there was a deep connection happening beyond the physical realm of our relationship. We had created this experience for each other from past lives, and the fates had brought us together again. This has been my experience with other magical or shamanic groups that I've been blessed to be a part of. Being a magical practitioner can be fun and exciting, yet a lonely existence. So connecting with a group of like-minded individuals who share common values, attitudes, and beliefs about magic and life can be a great addition to your stepping into a fulfilled life as a magus. There are various organizations and spiritual groups that exist out there. It's a matter of you putting it out to the universe and trusting that you will find the open door. Wherever this group practice evolves, having others to share in your magical wins, losses, and hopes is sure to leave you feeling a sense of community and purpose. To summarize, let's go over those steps again. 1. Ask questions to uncover your beliefs and release old programming. 2. Accept where you're coming from and know you can be the change. 3. Build trust by practicing magic in alignment with your beliefs. And 4, for our bonus step, practice with others. If you're curious about diving into your own magical practice and aren't sure where to start, I invite you to subscribe to the channel by clicking that subscribe button or join our community. You can hit the join button below. Looking for a community of like-minded folks? Then come join our Saturday morning Ouroboros 713 gatherings where we talk all things magical and esoteric. All community members have unlimited access to these Saturday circles, which are held over Zoom. Until next time, folks, remember to let your magic be true to you, and I'll see you in another video.